Guys, today I'm going to go over the 3 tools any person who has a website or local business should have for measuring data to and from their website. Even if you're never going to use it yourself, you should be collecting this data. It is free. It is already being collected most of the time, and you want to have access to it. So there are a ton of these things out there, but the most important in my mind, we're going to be talking about Google Analytics, Google My Business, and Google Search Console. So to find any of these, you just do a search for Google Analytics, Google My Business, or Google Search Console. All of these are going to give you data and information that's important to your business and your website and how it's performing. We're going to start with the one that's sort of so it's the most important, I think, for local search, and it's free. And you should be registering this. Whether or not you even have a website, you should have this. This is called Google My Business. So let's go into Google My Business. I'll ask you to sign in. And if you don't have one set up, you'll just add a new business, add a location, add a single location. I have a bunch of businesses that I do this for. So we're going to go over, I'm going to pick one sort of here in, let's see, so we're going to go ahead and pick Charlotte Water Damage Repair. There we go. And we looked at this in the last video. This is their Google business listing, and this is what helps you show up in maps. So, if we do this thing for Carolina Water Damage Charlotte, and we see here's their map listing. Carolina Water Damage Restoration of Charlotte. And if you type in the exact match, it's going to show over here, boom, in big old letters and everything. So, because the name of the company and the location are kind of not super unique, you can see other results down here too. And, if we don't type it in right, you're going to see map listings for Carolina Water Damage Charlotte because it's not only them. So here we get, a look at our dashboard, right? And so we've got performance. It's telling us search views and map views, your reviews, complete your business information. This is actually a broken thing right now. We do have the logo set, but it's a known issue from Google. You'll see stuff like that sometimes. So here what we want to do is we want to go to Insights, because what we're looking at now is more how to measure information that your site is showing up for. And so what we see is direct discovery, and then a very small slice of this pie would be branded. So there was exactly one branded search that the people looked for them. Only one. Making sure all of these are clicked is difficult. And what do each of these mean? Well, let me hit refresh just to get back there. It's showing us everything here. So what does this stuff mean? Well, this means how people are searching for you. So a direct search would be they're searching for your business, your address, like your business name, your address. Here it's customers who are searching for a brand related to your business, and here it's discovery. They're looking for something that you provide, and that's how they're showing up. And then down here you're going to see listing on search versus listing on maps, and that can be a little bit confusing because just one second, we've got a call from you. Sorry about that, there was a phone call. Listing on search and listing on maps, it's very difficult to understand exactly what we're seeing, but needless to say, this would be a listing on search. And why is that? And that's because we did a search and it showed up here. However, if we were on maps, or if you were in your phone and you did a search, right, this would be considered a listing on maps. So this is the maps section here. This is actually maps, whereas the search section just shows you a preview of what's in the map section. So if we did a search here, it would say, okay, this is your listing from maps, versus over here, it's a listing from Google search. Okay. And again, that's showing how many times your business showed up in that search, and this is a month, a quarter, or a week. And you can track that, and you can actually see, what people did when they found your listing over the course, over a week, a month, or a quarter. And ideally, we want to see a lot of phone calls here. If that's what you're trying to get. visiting your website, if you're trying to get people to come to your store, you want to see a lot of people who ask for directions, right? Now, there's a lot of ways to set this up. We're not going to get into that in this. We're just showing you that this is one of the places where you have data. And you can see your profile performance here if you click on this new place, right? And we're just going to do February to February. Maybe it'll show something here. Okay, so it does. So technically, this is showing what searches triggered you to show up. So just the search term water damage restoration or mold remediation Charlotte or water damage Charlotte. These are the types of searches that people were doing that you showed up in that maps listing or the search listing. So people search these things and your map listing pulls up. And this information is good, but it's again just for your Google business listing. We'll talk about how we can optimize this in a different video. I just wanted to get you used to seeing that you get some information there. So just by having a profile up, you can kind of see the types of things that people are searching for to find you. And of course, this is a water damage thing, right? So yeah, water damage Charlotte, water damage restoration, water damage repair. And they don't have to type in Charlotte. If they type in water damage repair and they're in Charlotte or near you, you might show up in that search. So that's cool. But it's not very complete information. So let's see something else. All right, so next we're going to look at Google Search Console. And you just do a search for Search Console, and you click here. It used to be called Webmaster Tools. It is no longer called Webmaster Tools. That was the wrong one. No, maybe it's right. They might have changed it. So we go to Search Console, and look, Charlotte Water Damage Repair. And here we are going to see information that is different than we saw on Search Console. Here actually what we're going to see is information about what pulled you up only in search. Now, the confusing part about this, aside from that it takes forever to load, we did this search for water damage repair Charlotte. I'm going to pause this to see what's going on with the speed. Okay, we're back. We do this search for water damage repair Charlotte, and it does pull up our map listing. But down here it also pulls us up in organic search. And so, honestly, what we're getting from this is basically when you do a search on Google, the data that we collect over here, and I do wish that it would actually switch. Like, I'm not going to lie, there are some load issues, and specifically they're with Search Console. And don't worry if you don't have Search Console installed. We're not doing a deep dive into this today. But essentially this is showing you all the times that your website pulled up. And it's showing you all the times it showed up in only search. And you can look over here, you can say image, video, news, or web. We're just looking at web. So we did this search, and sometimes you might see images related to a certain search. If you saw images there, it would still show under web, unless you went to the images tab. Now, it doesn't have maps here, but these still count as times that you've shown up. And there's really 4 things that we're looking for. We've got click-through rate, clicks, impressions, and average position. Average position is, well, your average position for all of your keywords. Impressions is the number of times you showed up or would have shown up in a search, and clicks is the number of times somebody clicked on you. So if somebody does this exact search, they click 6 times, and this is over 3 months, and the average position is 2.9, and the click-through rate is 6.8%. It's a really high click-through rate for search. So let's talk about what all those things mean. So first, in order to talk about what those mean, it's important. So we want to see this one, Charlotte NC water damage restoration, where the average position is 14.7. So it's a different search term than this one. And as we scroll down in here, we don't see them on the first page. 14.7, if we're looking at this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These can sometimes count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and so on. And then also we've got these things here, which are frequently asked questions. We'll show you how to get those in the future as well. But for now, nobody really gets to page 2 of a Google search. In this case, we did, and there they are. So they're number 13. Their average position was 14.7, and that's a different keyword or phrase than water damage restoration Charlotte, NC, where we show up on the first page. Or actually, on this one, it's saying the second page as well. It's funny, without that little comma, or without the NC, and without the NC, we're showing up it's saying average position is 2.4, but I'm not seeing us there. So that can also change. It changes based on everything, including like even if we're doing a search in incognito. Again, we don't want to get into the weeds so much right now. That's for a later video. Anyway, impressions are the number of times you showed up or would have shown up had somebody gotten to the first 10 pages of a Google search. So impressions matter because just by having a website up there, even if you're on the 3rd or 5th or 10th page for everything, at least you know how many people are searching for what you're searching for. Click-through rate, that's the number of times that you showed up and somebody clicked on you. Average position. So position, again, this is an average over 3 months, but what's important to look at here is more if you click on the search term itself, it goes and it shows you, hey, here, your position was 13, here your position is dropped. So it's dropped off a little bit. We need to figure out why it dropped off a little bit for some of these. Again, individual keywords are not the most important thing because, when we look at different keywords like with repair or water damage restoration, Charlotte 3.6, Charlotte water damage. So just this search is 2.5, it's saying. There they are at number 3. This is considered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This would be considered 6. This is 1, 2. This would be considered 2. But actually, although this, I said this would be considered 6, this would actually be considered 1, 2, 3. So these count as 1, 2, and 3. These also count as 1, 2, and 3. Confusing, maybe. Always you want to have a below 10 number. That means first page of a Google search. So this tells us, again, the number of impressions or the number of times that you showed up when somebody sort of did a search for that. Position, which is your average position. Clicks and click-through rate. Clicks might be important to you because that means, hey, somebody found you and they clicked and they went into your website and what did they do? And so as a general rule here, this is only pertaining to Google search. People do a Google search, you show up, and that's what it's measuring. You can install this for free onto your website. The last thing that's kind of important for us to know is Google Analytics. So I'm trying to find where I had that one pulled up. Now we'll pull it up here. So you just do a search for Google Analytics, and you'll get into Google Analytics. Now, again, this is something you have to install code on your website, but it's free. We're going to go to the Charlotte page, and I'm just going to give you a very brief overview of this. So we're going to come here, and we're going to go to Charlotte water damage repair. It's going to load it. Importantly, we'll see there's been a little bit of drop off here, but this is for 1 week, and let's look at it. We can change it for a month. We want to get off that real-time tab. That real-time tab is where it sets you to begin with. We don't care too much about real-time. We care more about, here's the number of visitors on their website. Let's go a little bit more so we can see There are peaks and valleys. There are more here, maybe storms, maybe something less. So not a lot of people coming to this website yet. 104 new users. What this does is it gives us the chance to break down how people are getting to our website. So not just from search, we can come over here, we can look at the acquisition, we can go to an overview, and we can see 47% came from direct, some came from social, 3 out of those 122. Referral means from a different website that's not a social website. We can actually look and see what that is by clicking on referral. It'll tell us the actual breakdown of this website. So Adland Pro, expatriates.com brought people in. So those are links coming from those pages. And then organic search. And organic search means anybody who's coming in from doing an organic search, and they click and they come through to your site. So 52, so just 47.7% of people from organic search. Then you can also look at behavior, what people are doing once they get to your website. I also like to look at site content landing pages, and this is one of the ones that's important for me because you can see these are how people are getting there. So Mooresville brought in 2 people. They paid for Mooresville. Gastonia brought in 2 people. The flood damage page brought in some people. And you can look, there are 20 of these, so we'll just expand this out a little bit. You can see Kannapolis, Davidson, Concord, mold removal in Davidson brought people, Rock Hill, Pineville, Stallings. So what it means is the landing page, it just means the page somebody landed on once they came to the site. You can also look at behavior flow. Hey, look, somebody came in from the home page here, and this is the next things that they did, right? They came in from the about page or the flood damage page. Like, here are the next things people did. And depending on how you have this set up, you can break down by, were they mobile or were they desktop? Desktop versus mobile. We can talk about demographics by age and gender. So who's coming here? We didn't have this enabled, and gender also we didn't have enabled. So we'll enable these. Now they're enabled. We'll start collecting that information. We can look at technology. Chrome, Safari, Firefox, Edge, so more people are using Chrome. There's just a lot of information that comes in here, and you can start targeting your information and things to those people. Last thing that I want to point out is if you have this set up right, you can actually measure events that happen on your site. So TEL, or phone click tracking, we got it set up twice. It's telling you 3 people clicked to call from this. Mail to means they use the email address. We've also got a form for submission in here. And you can set that up if you want to, and I have it set up so anytime somebody goes to a thank you page, and you could set up the goal if you want to. I didn't, but we can type in thank, and it'll show us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people came to the thank you page, which you can only get to from the form. And you can even say, hey, I'm just looking to see, where those people who fill out the form came from. And here we can see their Google My Business listing brought them 1 contact form, and organic search brought them 5. So it's all very different information, but some of it's sort of the same, right? And really what we want to know is with all of these, we have this data, and how does this data help us, right? So I apologize this video went a little bit longer, but it's important to know Analytics, Search Console, and Google My Business, all different information, all very valuable to you for collecting data on the users that are coming to your site and making your site better for users, more relevant for Google. Next time we're going to deep dive more into how to use Google Search Console. So thanks for watching.